So we really find two common use cases with human resources: IT onboarding or employee offboarding, and employee onboarding. So let's first do an onboarding example, followed up by an offboarding example, two very common use cases. So I've created a basic form for HR onboarding. Yours is probably a little more complex, but the benefits and advantages are going to be the same. You're going to give the requester the ability to select what they're wanting to do. And in this case, I want to onboard one of my new employees that's going to report to me. So I'm going to say, okay, let's onboard a new user is my summary. And my business email here, we'll go ahead and put in for my new user. Scrolling down a bit, we'll go and look for the onboarding user, and we'll pick on Nico. He's currently going through onboarding. So right now we've got a summary and the person we're going to be onboarding. Now, of course, you can configure your asset fields many different ways. I'm looking for the business email, but it could be first name, last name, any attribute about that user you want to select. Next is the form itself. Now again, this is a very basic form. Yours may be a bit more complex, but the idea is the same. I can pick on the different things that I want to give Nico on day one, and maybe I want to get him a badge or not because he's going to be remote, so I can select those options, and then we can send this in the system to be serviced. So what we've done there is very quickly gone through a form, submitted the details, and it's now gone to both HR and IT to be fulfilled. Now the requester is going to see the basic information here. We can see the user we're going to be onboarding. We can see what equipment they want. Most importantly, if you're new to JSM, you'll notice features like being able to turn notifications on or off. Maybe you want to cancel the request. And of course, I might want to share this with others that might be interested in how Nico's onboarding is going. All that is going to be possible with JSM right through the Help Center. Of course, sometimes you want to communicate with IT or the resolvers, the people working on your issue. We've got the ability for you to add comments that would notify them as well. So let's take a look at how this would look on the other side, where if you're the person that's fulfilling the request for the onboarding. Now, if I were to go here and launch a new tab, we're going to look at this from the agent's perspective, that JSM agent perspective that's fulfilling it. Now, of course, this has to be approved, and I'm not the approver, so I won't be able to approve this, but we can look at the ticket itself and give you an idea of what's possible. So as a resolver, I can see, okay, we need to onboard Nico. I can see that the request is going to be for a laptop. Now, with JSM, I'm able to do some configuration to be able to control what fields are visible when. So this is our first look at how we can use asset object type fields to be able to look in the assets and give us contextual information to work with this particular request. So in this case, it's the in-stock equipment field. So if you think about Lansweeper's discovery, it's discovering all the laptops, desktops, and other devices in your infrastructure. Now, we can use automation to do cool things and, let's say, change the status of a device if we notice that nobody is logged into it and we've noticed that nobody's the owner of it. So based on that information, we can say, oh, this is available for stock. Or if you're already doing lifecycle asset management, we can key on one of your statuses for what's in stock. So if I go over here to in-stock equipment, I can hit add object, and I can go and look for something that matches Nico's requests, whether it be a desktop or a laptop. And in fact, it looks like I've got a Latitude 5580 in stock. So we'll go ahead and select that object and bind it to our request. Now, this is where the magic can really happen. So we can do some automations in Jira Service Management that once this request goes through, gets approved, and gets delivered to Nico, we can update the asset object and make Nico the owner. It's just that simple with Atlassian JSM integrated to Lansweeper, powered by Atlassian's automations. So you can do a little more advanced things with these fields. So for example, maybe I want to do some advanced AQL filtering. That's Atlassian's asset query language. To be more granular with this field, maybe I want to make it region-based stock. So if I know Nico is located, say, in Montreal, I can show things that are in Montreal. Or if he's in Austin, Texas, I can only show stock in Austin, Texas. You are free to leverage Atlassian's AQL to filter our data any way you like to get the benefits and advantages that you're looking for. So that's an example of what an HR onboarding use case can be. Let's go ahead and close this tab and go back to our Help Center. I want to show you the other side of that coin. We've onboarded a person. Let's talk about what it looks like to offboard. So now we'll go to our employee offboarding form. Now, same idea, right? We're going to collect information and we're going to use for automations to be able to remove the equipment from association with that person, harvest it back, look at their software entitlements. We'll be able to get all their software licenses back from them, so we're able to utilize that license somewhere else. So let's go ahead and fill out this form. You'll notice mine's pretty simple as well. The employee I'm going to offboard today, I'm actually, let's pick on myself. I'll pick on Kevin Patterson. My last working day, we'll pick on the end of the month. There, and I resign, let's say, we'll put it in the future here. Now, I've set up my form for an offboarding reason, but I could also put a letter in here as well. I'm sure your form looks pretty similar to this if you're already doing an offboarding form. Just know you've got full configuration of this where you can make it any way you like. The magical field here is going to be that employees field that links back to our asset object for that employee that we're synchronizing over from Lansweeper. Now, once I send this into the system, you're going to see that common confirmation screen where I see just what I submitted. I'll have those same options to be able to turn notifications on or off. Of course, I can cancel a request or share that request. All of those common features are there, just like we saw a moment ago. Now, let's again change from that portal view to that licensed user view to see what the fulfiller is going to see as Kevin's going through the offboarding. So we'll go ahead and click on that issue here and bring it up to the agent view. Now, take a look at this. Isn't this interesting? So we see automation has already gone through for us, and it's already associated the devices that Kevin Patterson was the owner of. So because we're tracking that data and our asset schema, if we go down and look at D001 and scroll down, we should see that association to Kevin Patterson. This is how the magic happens. Based on that synchronization from Lansweeper, it knows what devices Kevin has, the automation rules. We'll go ahead and load those, and we can go ahead and start bringing those devices back. We can send an email to Kevin and say, hey, Kevin, I need you to return these devices. And if there was any software I had that was licensable, I could also show that here to make sure that I harvest that license back. So what this is going to ensure is compliance. You're going to get all the equipment back. You're going to terminate all that access, and you're going to ensure the proper offboarding of this employee. So there's other things you can do with these automation rules. I kept mine pretty simple for our demo, but you could actually create new issues or new subtasks for each item to go through and assign that to the right person that's responsible for harvesting that back. Again, the sky's the limit when it comes to the power of automations and what it can do with our data from Lansweeper as we bring it into JSM Assets. So that's a quick look at what we can do for HR onboarding and offboarding.